I want to go across to Aman Lekhi first. On the basis of the evidence in the public domain at this moment, do you think the case and the ban against the PFI will hold in a court of law if and when the PFI decides to challenge it before the courts or one of the tribunals?
No, absolutely. This is absolutely justified. In fact, it's delayed. If you look at the conditions on which it will be banned, the criteria which the statute specifies is comprehensively satisfied. This falls the category of unlawful activity, and in addition, it clearly attracts under 3A. As far as PFA is concerned, it's crime-ridden past, blood-soaked activities, which deal not only with extremism, as is apparent in the manifesto of making India an Islamic state, altering the fundamentals on which our polity is based. But apart from whatever the political commentary which is part of this program, the affidavits have been filed in the court, the orders have been passed in various courts, the investigation which has been revealed across the country, not just in Kerala, even in Bihar, justify this particular action. And why I say it's justified also because prior to this particular ban, there have been individual actions against particular persons under the Unlawful Activities Act. And because the individual actions against particular person Unlawful Activities Act did not yield the result, and in fact the activities persisted, in that event those who actually constitute the body, which in fact endorses these particular actions, invited itself to this particular action of its being declared an unlawful organization, subject of course to the tribunal which is to be constituted affirming it. In my opinion, this is a warranted exercise within the limits of law and justified on all parameters.
Karuna, Nundy, within the limits of law, belated, says Aman Lekhi, and they've got a crime-ridden past and therefore the PFI ought to have been banned and it's about time. Do you agree, or do you think that you should have looked at the difference between alleged acts committed by individuals versus institutional culpability?
Obviously, one thinks the latter, that you have to establish the institutional culpability before you ban the organization. And what appears to be happening is that even as Mr. Lekhi just said, that what's happening is that their investigation as per themselves the individual that there is more. But if there is more, then let us see what is more before the organization is banned. However, at the same time, if the allegations of the government are all taken to be true, and that's mostly what's being reported and reproduced wholesale, then of course the organization would need to be banned. I think the job for the tribunal and then the courts will be to look beyond what is happening, to look beyond what the government is saying and look at the particular stage of the investigation and look at the evidence that's there right now, right? And see whether it justifies the ban now, right? And I think that's important. But somebody said that you're giving a crocin for a cancer. You're treating a headache when there is in fact a cancer. And there are different kinds of extremism in this country. One kind is somewhat addressed, which is not Islamic, I beg your pardon, Islamist terror in the name of a particular religion. But what is not addressed, in my view, adequately, and there is a real problem here, is terror by the Bajrang Dal. Is when, you have Pragya, who is a political representative, and those cases are still going on against her, where you have public prosecutors, eminent public prosecutors saying that they were changed, where you have, somebody called Yashwant Shinde has filed a very detailed affidavit saying that implicating senior members of the Sangh Parivar. And I think those issues are not adequately addressed. And while the PFI has to be looked at its own merits, and the ban may very well be sustainable, and that's important. It's to leave the rest of it is a problem.